Lots of reaction in the press today to Donald Trump's 4-count indictment on felony charges. Dipti's looking through it all for us.
Well, it's the third criminal case into Donald Trump, and the latest indictment details what prosecutors say was a concerted effort by Donald Trump to, quote, to impair, obstruct, and defeat the process to validate the results of the 2020 presidential election that, of course, Joe Biden won. Now, Donald Trump's quote, lies, the paper says here on the front of the Washington Post, led to the insurrection of the Capitol on January the 6th, 2021. That's on the, you see this here, Donald Trump charged in the January 6th case on the front page of the Washington Post. In the same paper, associate editor today, Ruth Marcus, calls the indictment the most important in the history of the United States. She hails the legal system for, quote, recoiling against an effort to undo the democracy that Donald Trump swore an oath to protect. Now, from the other side of the political spectrum, on this conservative magazine, National Review, condemns the indictment, notably for its criminal nature. In its editorial today, the magazine says that Tuesday's indictment is an attempt really by the Biden Justice Department to use the criminal process as a do-over for a failed impeachment against Donald Trump. Now, of course, a big question in the papers today also is what impact this indictment will have on next year's presidential elections. The Financial Times today is looking at this very question in this article here, saying Donald Trump, at least for his part, is betting on the indictment to animate the essence of his campaign by portraying himself as a victim of political persecution at the hands of a corrupt judicial system. That's how he's framing it. At least according to some statistics in the New York Times today, it seems to be working. He is still the number one presidential candidate pick for the Republican Party by a large margin. You see here 54%, well ahead of Ron DeSantis.
Now let's talk about an article in Le Monde newspaper. It looks at a secret carbon credits deal between Liberia and a private Emirati company.
Yeah, it's a carbon credit system that would allow the United Arab Emirates to essentially respect their climate change targets, Stuart. According to Le Monde, Liberia is preparing to cede allegedly 1 million hectares of its forests, that's about 10% of the country's land surface, to a Emirati company, a private company called Blue Carbon, which is then hoping to commercialize its carbon credits generated from reforestation or conservation projects. Now, on the surface, it seems positive, but Le Monde explains in this article there are serious concerns by those opposed to it in Liberia, notably for fears of greenwashing, but also concerns about the violation of hard-fought rights of communities who live in these forested areas. That's about accounting for about a third of the population in Liberia. Moreover, the deal has been negotiated in secret and is expected to be announced at the very controversial climate change conference taking place in Dubai later this year.
Now, this is fascinating. When is the best time to send a work email? Well, Dipti is going to tell us, and it's not when you think.
No, it's not when you think at all. This is from the Times of London today. According to a study from the AI software company Axios HQ, the best time to send an email to colleagues and have them read it, that's important, is the most relaxing part of your week normally. It's between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. on a Sunday, Stuart.
Oh.
It's apparently the low competition moment of the week when we're not slammed with emails and therefore more prone to reading the ones we get. So it's the best time, but it's also the worst time, of course, to send an email to colleagues, unless you want to win, some kind of award for the worst boss or the worst colleague. On the theme of work, more seriously, Billboard today reports that singer Lizzo is facing a lawsuit by 3 former tour dancers who accuse her of sexual harassment during a trip to Amsterdam, but also fostering a toxic work environment. She's accused of body shaming. For Billboard, that is a particularly loaded allegation because Lizzo has made body positivity a central aspect of her personal brand.
And Dipsy's going to end with another, sort of vaguely, I suppose, work-related story, Dipsy?
Well, we did talk about inconsiderate colleagues. How about unruly ones? A Lufthansa pilot really takes the cake for this one. This pilot was prevented from landing at the Sicilian airport of Catania recently due to bad weather. I brought that up too early, and was instructed to reroute to Malta. Pretty standard stuff until plane watchers and no doubt air traffic controllers noticed that the pilot took a particular route, designing a 24-kilometer ice cream cone, if you like, in the sky on the way to Malta. Although, for me, it kind of looks like an upside-down middle finger, so I think you can interpret what you will of that very artistic, ice cream in the sky.
I don't understand. One ball's vanilla, one's chocolate. What's the problem? Dipsy with the papers of for us 24. That's all from us. More news coming up very shortly from the newsroom, though.